Hey, what's up guys? John here. What does Michael Burry and Warren Buffett have in common? They're completely different investors. Warren Buffett generally invests for the long haul, and he is always very bullish on America. He always said, never bet against America.
I'm an enormous bull on the country. It does not make sense to bet against America. I do not get pessimistic on the country.
Michael Burry, on the other hand, he believes that, we're always going to be stepping into a recession. Big problems are always ahead.
Michael Burry, the investor who became famous for predicting the massive 2008 housing market collapse, recently placed a big bet against the US stock market.
And he makes a hell of a lot of money by believing that, and in some cases he's right, and when he's right, he's really right, and he makes a fortune. But now Michael Burry and Warren Buffett are seeing two of the same things. Two completely different investors seeing the same exact thing. But I believe it's something we all need to pay very close attention to, because what Warren Buffett's doing in the U.S. housing market, betting in some of the biggest home builders in America.
If I had a way of buying a couple 100,000 single-family homes, I would load up on them, and I would take mortgages out at very, very low rates.
It's shocking. It is absolutely shocking, and it's not like anything the media or anyone else is letting us on to believe, thinking that, hey, they're just investing in these home builders because he believes in the future of America. I'm going to show you what's going on. Please hit the like button. When you hit the like button, YouTube will share this content to educate more people. And today's video is sponsored by Door Loop, but more on that in just a little bit. Take a look at this. What are big short investor Michael Burry and Warren Buffett seeing that we are not, right? Buffett told Security Exchange Commissions on a filing Monday, showed that Berkshire Hathaway sold almost $8 billion more in shares that it bought in quarter of 2023, right? So he's a net seller. Michael Burry, big short investor, who became famous for correctly predicting the epic collapse of the housing market in 2008, also made a gigantic bet last quarter on the Wall Street crash. Burry's fund, Scion Asset Management, bought $866 million in put options, that's right, to sell an asset at a particular price, against the fund that tracks the S&P 500, and $739 million in put options against the fund that tracks the NASDAQ 100. So you see where Warren Buffett's at, you see where Michael Burry's at. Now, why would Warren Buffett go out there and investing in three of the largest home builders in America? Because that is what he is doing. Right? He's investing in these home builders. Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway bet on three home builders. Well, I believe that what he's actually doing is far, far worse than just what they're portraying. They're portraying like he's just investing. It's completely fine. Yeah, great. Everyone should be able to invest and make money. But what I think is actually happening here is I think that he's going to begin to take over these home builders. And I think it's going to be like what he did with Occidental Petroleum, where it's like it starts with a very, very small bet, and then it will start to level up every couple weeks. It'll be a bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger bet. Now, if you are a property owner, investor, or landlord, and you're looking for a better way in which you could manage your property, I want to take a minute and discuss Door Loop. Door Loop allows investors to be able to manage their properties, their tenants, their leases, their maintenance requests, everything under one roof. Now, Door Loop is an all-in-one property management software with a built-in CRM that you can use to communicate with your tenants. You can even manage your maintenance request and communicate with vendors that are doing repairs and fixing your properties. You can assign and track jobs to vendors, even send out 1099s to vendors to sign. On top of that, mailing them out their checks. Having everything in one software allows you to be more successful focusing on growing your portfolio versus managing it. And when it comes to your tenants, you can collect rent simply by taking a credit card, an ACH deposit, cash, check. Very simple. And if you want to send out notifications when rent is received and when it's overdue, you can seamlessly do that inside of Door Loop. You can also screen tenants and send them a lease, all within Door Loop for digital signature. Door Loop has accounting, a live chat, and a simple to use all-in-one mobile app. Now, Door Loop is not just for residential real estate. It's also for community housing, affordable housing, self-storage, commercial real estate, and mobile home parks, just to name a few. You can use Door Loop through your desktop computer or mobile app. Both very, very simple and easy to use and navigate. All designed this way so you can spend less time managing and more time growing. If you're looking to level up your real estate business, look no further than Door Loop. Click the link below this video to request a free demo, and you'll get 50% off of your first 2 months when you sign up. Why would Warren Buffett buy home builders at all-time highs? Especially, look at this. U.S. homebuilder confidence falls for the first time in 2023. This article came out the same exact day that Warren Buffett released the information that he acquired large blocks inside of these home builders. A quarter of all home builders cut prices to bolster sales in August, their first increase since March. On top of that, builders' sale expectations in the next 6 months fell to 55 from 59 in July, suggesting the share of builders cutting prices could increase further to incentivize buyers. More widespread price cuts would be welcome news for the U.S. Central Bank's campaign to tame inflation. So there's likely going to be, think about this, there's likely going to be further price cuts on these properties because the interest rates are at all-time highs. You look at Home Depot, their sales are sinking, but yet Warren Buffett is betting big on housing. No, I don't think so. So he bet $814 million on this, and the companies that in which he acquired stakes in are Lennar, NVR, and DR Horton, right? So look at these stocks. Lennar on a 5-year chart, all-time high basically. 5-year all-time high. This is max all-time, right? Now NVR on a 5-year, all-time highs basically, and same exact thing, right? So and that was max. So now DR Horton on a 5-year and max, basically an all-time high. So you're seeing this. Warren Buffett, if you look at his investing portfolio, he loves to buy businesses that have long-term value, long-term benefits of ownership. Look at Geico, for example. He invested in Geico many, many, many years ago. And his business and why he loved that business model behind Geico was that he would be able to invest in a company that would be able to provide a large float, and he'd be able to invest that float, that insurance float, into other companies and be able to expand Geico and expand his enterprise and his empire through Berkshire. And that's exactly what he did. Now with these home builders, when we're looking at what's going on with these home builders, it's very fascinating. So 22% of home builders say that they're canceling projects, right? Mortgage rates, if you have bad credit, 640 to 659, 8.745%. Think about how crazy that is. That person, if you had a 650 credit score 2 years ago, you'd be a buyer somewhere around 3% on a mortgage, right? Now it's 8.745%. Absolutely unbelievable. And so if you are Warren Buffett and you're acquiring stakes inside of these companies, a $500,000 home price, 6% down payment with an 8% mortgage, you're looking at $4,239 per month. Now, what I think is going to happen here is I believe these home builders are in very, very, very big trouble. And what they're going to start to do is they're going to continue cutting prices and cutting prices and cutting prices, trying to attract buyers that will step forward and be able to acquire these properties. But there's not going to be any buyers that are going to be able to pick up inventory like they were a couple of years ago. And so what are these home builders going to do? They're going to start to suffer massive losses. And if Warren Buffett is going to start to acquire larger stakes inside of these home builders, this could be a huge win for him because this could provide a very similar business model to Geico. You own an underlying asset that spits out a premium every single month, which would be the dividend, that return. If he's buying these properties these entities, investing in these entities based on the returns in which these assets can produce, it could be a very, very attractive business model. And you think about it, Berkshire's sitting on $150 billion plus in cash, sitting on a mountain of money. In a high interest rate environment, you start to see a lot of distress. And when you see distress and you have a lot of cash, you're in a very, very strong position. And so why would anyone of Warren Buffett's position invest in home builders at all-time highs when his only game plan is just to ride out further growth in the U.S. housing market? I don't think that's the case. I think he's looking at the U.S. housing market as one of the greatest investing opportunities of all time. And I think that he is going to, he's going to really do extremely well on these investments. But if you are a home builder, if you are, someone that's building homes and you're looking at what's going on here, you would likely assume that if the intent was anything less than that, it would be a foolish investment. Just buying these home builders right now, knowing that American consumers are being pushed to the wall with record high inflation, record high credit card debt, record high borrowing cost. Jerome Powell just came out. He said this an hour ago, literally 1 hour ago, about an hour ago. Fed officials see upside risk to inflation, possibly leading to more rate hikes. Minute shows, right? So right here, stocks fall a second straight day. NASDAQ drops 1% as Fed citing lingering inflation woes. They're going to continue hiking up rates. So you could start to see this 8% mortgage go to 9%. And the difference, people just, who's going to be able to afford this? They're not. They're not going to be able to afford it. They're going to start renting. It's going to become renter nation. That's what's happening in America. It's going to become renter nation. Warren Buffett is investing in these companies because he knows that. he knows it's going to become renter nation, and he knows that in owning these companies, these large home builders, is going to provide him significant float to be able to make an absolute killing. You think about it as well. The US dollar is getting eroded. His purchasing power is getting greatly eroded. Him sitting on $150 billion in cash that is going to be losing value by the month going forward. It's going to continue to lose more and more value. He's going to want to own hard, real assets that are going to be able to produce real returns in any economic cycle and environment. That's going to be homes. It's going to be rentals. What do you think about this entire situation? Do you think Warren Buffett is buying these stocks with the intent of just being a buy and hold investor? Or do you think Warren Buffett is looking at this saying, you know what, overall the U.S. economy is in very big trouble. Consumers are in very big trouble. What investments should I be making? Well, U.S. housing. Or do you think you're seeing something else? I'm curious as to what you see. I think he's going to be acquiring more and more positions and bigger commitments inside of these home builders. And I think it's not just going to be Warren Buffett. I think we're going to see the same thing from Blackstone, BlackRock, KKR, all these big private equity firms. They're going to start acquiring more and more probably home builder stocks and acquiring large parcels of land owned built to rent housing. We're going to see a large change in the U.S. housing market. But inside of these huge shifts, these big economic swings, comes huge opportunities as well. If you're a real estate investor, you're somebody that has big goals, big plans, the next couple of years is going to be extremely important. So it's very important to make smart decisions today, following the trends, looking at these data points, and really making forward-thinking, smart decisions based on what's actually going on in the U.S. economy. If you do that, you're going to be well ahead of nearly everybody else, because most others believe that the U.S. housing market, everything else is just going to continue to remain high, yet every single month it just seems like it's one crazy situation after the next, whether it be China or the Russia situation. You look at all these different problems, it's like we're getting hit left, right, and center in all different directions. And these problems are going to prevent massive opportunities for the smart and savvy investor. And for more information on Door Loop, you can find that below in the description of this video. And catch you guys in the next video.